Guess where, Doctor Who fans? Had to do it again, really. I love this place, TARDIS. I've arrived this afternoon, but it looks like the it says open between 10 and 3, 10:30 and 3, but it's summer, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe there's something else going on here. Like teaching, say. Right, greetings, Doctor Who fans and TARDIS fans. I'm at the Museum of Classic Sci-Fi with the lovely Lisa Maureen Cole hosting today. Well, she actually did me a favour because I didn't realise the museum wasn't open today, unbeknownst to me, but she was very kindly let me have a look inside. So I'm very grateful, and we'll be thanking her on the video and doing a fantastic interview hopefully shortly. Look at this tripod suit. Never seen that before. The Daleks. Aliens. Better bend my head because I've got to keep my head. These are in the sci-fi part of the museum, not the Doctor Who section. Look at this. Fabulous chair. It's scary. Nice and cool in here, I have to say, with this air conditioning. Look, really cool. Thank you. Anyway, that section. I've just moved back to through the magic TARDIS doors, the Chronicles of Narnia. Well, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Puts you in mind of that, doesn't it? Leading to the bigger place. Back at this Doctor Who Guardian from Colony in Space. I've seen that one before. Drawing. I remember this, Neil talking about this last time I was here, this sword from the Time Warrior. Look at these. Exelon, this is the 70s exhibition part. Exelon heads. It's not Little Bilal, is it? No, it's an Exelon. Yeah, wonderful. There's a, what do you call that again? It's called Escape Key, that place, by the way, I was telling you about, Lisa. Okay. Escape Key. Yeah, I knew it'd come back to me. These things do, don't we? You're walking around, all of a sudden it comes back to you, yeah? Oh. What do you do? Oh, it's got another visitor, have you? Hope it's, Ready? Ready. Welcome, TARDIS fans and Doctor Who fans, aplenty, with again here at the Museum of Classic Sci-Fi in Allendale with Lisa Marie Cole, sometimes known as Lisa Maureen Moon Cole, but she's going to tell you that now. Why you have such a long name and why Moon? Well,
it's not my real name, but I have added Moon into my Facebook name because everybody else in the family has some link to the moon in their name. So Neil's Neil Armstrong, my son is Buzz
Aldrin.
Yeah, Matilda has Luna in her name as well.
Luna.
Was the only one without a name linked to the moon. So
but it is linked to the moon, isn't it? Luna, because it is the lunar surface of the moon.
Luna is. Yeah, but I was the only one who didn't, so I thought I'd just add Moon into mine.
So isn't it strange, Lisa, how you kind of are attracting space things to you? Like you have your sci-fi museum, space, even though you're away from the hustle and bustle of the city and Cape Canaveral and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
You literally are psychologically perhaps, or even
Well, yeah.
spiritually perhaps. Space is part of your lives. It's like you're
Embodying it in a way.
yeah. It's like you're all of you upstairs are touching the stars, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Touching the stars. But I bet you guys, when you go out and like look at the sky, which you probably do from time to time, because you always have to live in the moment. I always say. Even I do that on a bus. I just sit there and look at. I'm so grateful the sun's shining on me right now. Do the same. So it's the same with looking at the moon. You only get one shot of these. Sometimes you've got one life to look at these things. Take advantage of that. Take one moment in your day to look at these things. Anyway, enough of my cerebral ramblings. What are you aware of anything new in the museum? Anything else in your experience?
Yeah, well,
new people coming in, or
final display. I don't know if you noticed, but the glass was off.
yes.
If we reverse back through the exit.
Are we doing that now? Or
Yeah,
just
give it a push. That one there, the one you can see.
Oh, this one.
Got the glass on, so that's what Neil's on with at the moment.
This is the suit, isn't it? That we saw on his Facebook post the other day.
I can't actually tell you much about it because he knows all about it.
That's the gun.
I
Yeah, I'm not an expert on that side of it myself, although I'm pretty familiar with a lot of things. Yeah, very good. Is that new series or classic series, isn't it? Classic.
yes, but then it'll finish, I think, with the
He was-
Man, which is a new series.
Oh yeah,
Superman, yeah.
yeah, they're like handles almost, isn't it? That character of Matt Smith. But yeah, he was talking about having a special area for new series props, which he isn't a fan of, as you know. I'm not a massive fan. I know he likes it. So, yeah, but I'll start again. Now, can we just remind ourselves of the opening hours of the museum again? So, I guess.
The opening hours, yes.
And
they
days.
are Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Mondays, and Wednesdays in the school holidays.
Yep.
And that's just Northumberland County Council school holidays.
Yep.
They're very different from other parts of the country.
Well, I always say, and I've said this to Neil quite a lot previously, is that even though you say that, there's a lot more in this museum than you do get in some of these larger museums. Because I said before, they spread out all their props and things over large cases and things. You might get one or two items in several cases. Whereas this one, it compacts it down to 200 or 300 pieces, whatever he's got in here, more than that possibly.
Definitely.
You're getting more for your money, aren't you, really? You are.
Well, I often say to people, if they start to glaze over after a bit, because it's just too much to take in, there's so many props, send them off for a cup of tea and then they can come back and finish once they've kind of recovered a bit, because there is so much in there.
Yeah, you can only take so much in at a time, of course, and if you are a fan, you tend to be wanting to know all the details and everything else, but maybe more than one visit is worth,
Spreading it out with it.
And what is the charge again to visit the museum?
£7 for an adult and £3 for a child.
So,
From the very teeny ones.
special dispensation to members, of course, who visit regularly, this sort of thing, yeah. And you work in the museum, Chris works in the museum occasionally, Neil obviously does his thing probably more than anyone else. Do you all find it something you, how can I put this, do you like to spend the time all day in here? You toggle between your house and that and coming back?
No, it is lovely. It's lovely down here. It's
nice and cool.
It's not neat, isn't it? Especially in the summer and the hot days, it's lovely.
I often see, when I come here, I see a lot of people walking down the street here. Maybe they're on long walks or rambles or whatever. They often walk past this and give it a second take, double take,
definitely.
and then come in.
Yeah, especially cars going up sometimes reverse back down.
Now, here's a question which you don't have to answer, but if I may ask you anyway. Does the museum make a profit to make it a manageable thing that works?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, do you have to rely on more than the museum, put it that way, to keep things going?
We do have to rely on more than the museum. It's more of a passion project rather than, some sort of... It wasn't made for any big business plans or anything like that. It's more a passion project, really, for Neil.
So you rely on the subscriptions?
Yeah.
You rely on anything else?
But we both have our other jobs. Which,
yes, you do.
Which are what we rely on mainly for finances.
If I may ask you personal in relation to that, just very general, by the way, nothing too intrusive. How does what you do in your own job, because you obviously have your own profession, how does that translate to meeting people at this museum? Do you find that the kind of people you meet in this museum are, how can I put this, Are they uplifting as opposed to people who... Do they come here with a sense of wonder, but rather than a sense of,
Yeah, definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
this is another museum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Now, you know me, I'm a
such
bit over the... Not over the top, but I'm a bit over the top. No, I'm a bit...
It's a really wide range of people because I guess sci-fi appeals to all
Age groups.
age groups.
I always say, and I should have said that in my presentation to that escape I was telling you about, I always say that I like things to be available to children of all ages.
Yeah, very true.
Because-
Yeah, we've got people in their 90s, we've had really young people that have been really into it, and
So it's best. I mean, when
all
you
over the
when you
world.
get older, it's best to bring out more of the child in you. To revisit that,
I think people enjoy
To revisit
getting
it.
a trip back to their childhood.
yeah, because you know people can become a bit, you know, too adult, shall we say?
Yeah,
Whereas if I have the sense of wonder that a child has, like everything I see in there, I have a sense of wonder there, because it just fires the dopamine and the serotonin and everything else when you see it all. Yeah.
I think Neil wanted to really create an atmosphere of wonder, hence all the cool
Well,
lights
for him,
and
it's as far as I'm
sounds.
aware. For him, I don't know how you feel about that, but for him, it was a revisit to his childhood days to the Blackview museums.
Yeah, very much.
It's kind of like revisiting that experience.
Totally.
A lot of the things that were in there are in here, of course. But it must feel strange actually owning them as opposed to just looking at them. But from his side, anyway.
Yeah, it's funny really because I mean we're all quite used to the museum being
Yeah.
here now, so I can't imagine life being any other way really. But yeah, I realised not.
When I was a child-
there's a museum under the house.
When I was a child, I had one of those Dalek suits, the Beric Dalek suits, with like the red thing with white spots on. What was I going to say? Yeah. So having a sense of wonder is important, like a child sort of thing. Yeah. And where do you see the museum? What's the purpose of moving forward now in the next, say, few years? Obviously, Neil's of an age 50s, I believe. I'm not going to ask you because I'm polite. But all I say is that people usually have a goal or something to work towards sometimes, or some projection in their head of what they want to do. So is it just, were you just going with emotion, or is it just, do you have anything in mind that you both discussed that you want to do with the museum later? Do you want to expand it?
Well, we're kind of limited with space.
But I always said, I think I said to Neil that obviously you've got next door, haven't you? If they moved out next door, you could take over that. And they probably won't. But,
You'd have to be able to get the finances together for that. I mean, that would be wonderful to be able to expand it.
But can you imagine all the people
just move.
all the people who donate all these things to the museum, which sometimes give it for nothing, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they want to see it. They want to see everybody else experience it, you know?
I guess it's about wanting it to be put out on display rather than hidden away in a private collection. And
So you're absolutely right, because I've got a lot of stuff myself, and I think it's just hidden away in books and things that are very rare, but they're just there. Nobody can see them. Whereas if they're in a museum, people can experience it, can't they? And sometimes it is like revisiting nostalgic parts of your past, because, for instance, if you have a Radio Times you bought in the 1970s, say, and seeing it again in a museum or something, you can actually rekindles the memory, that the feeling, isn't it? It's the feeling you want.
yeah, spreading that bit of sort of like magic and happiness and nostalgia again.
I mean, I was terrified of the Daleks as a child, watching it in the 60s, because I literally had been behind the sofa. But that feeling, you don't want to capture that one again necessarily. You want to capture because it was scary, but you want to kind of recapture the excitement of that, don't you?
Yeah,
That's what we're after. It's like you're after an adrenaline rush in a way. Yeah.
very much.
So, Lisa, I know I don't want to spend too much of your time now. I'm going to probably go back in. I'll just say thank you again for taking part in this interview. Always a pleasure to speak to you, because... Is there anything you want to say to the viewers before I leave, by the way? I'll let you say the final words.
Crumbs, being put on the spot.
Anything you want to say?
I can't think of anything, but I hope you're all well and happy, and do come and visit us here. We'll make you very welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.